Guys, what's up? It's Haley and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I got this makeup look right here. This is a look I've been doing on a daily basis for fall time and what I'm going to be continuing to do throughout the season. So before we get started, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every week, so you don't want to miss out on any of those uploads. And also go ahead and follow me along on Instagram so you can see all my behind the scenes, all my stories, what I'm doing, what I'm wearing, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe and follow along. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is prime my skin, and I'm gonna be using the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Hyaluronic Hydrating Primer. And I love this, especially when we're getting more into the fall and winter months, just because my skin is always on the dry side. And this just adds some extra hydration and dewiness, so I really love that one. And it smells like cucumbers. It smells so good. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before. Okay, for foundation, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. This is an old one that I always come back to. It's just so good. And I'm going to be using a Tarte Kabuki brush to apply. And I honestly use quite a bit. It's just like a more medium coverage formula, and I'm wanting a little bit more coverage today because I'm going to be taking some photos, and I just want it to last all day and look really flawless. And I'm kind of breaking out, so I'm just using a little bit more.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. She's a Mona Lisa.
Okay, that's one of the reasons why I love this foundation so much, is because you can build it up for the coverage you want without it kind of looking cakey, because it's a thinner formula. Also, I have my windows open, so sorry if you can hear like random noises. Okay, now moving on to concealer. This is one that's not new, but it's something I just discovered and I'm like hooked for life. I will not use a high-end concealer again for a very long time. And this is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer, and I have the shade Medium Sand. It's like the best coverage I have ever gotten from a concealer, and it was literally like $5 or $6. So it's like amazing, and I love it. Again, I'm using a little bit more just because, like I said, I need to have my makeup on all day. So I am just using a little bit more. Also, I dipped my brush in like 1 or 2 times and it covered this much, so it's really good stuff. It's very concentrated. I'm just gonna take my beauty sponge. It is not wet. I have been using it dry lately and it works just as well, in my opinion.
Lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find the beauty goes much deeper.
And then for like the rest of my face and to kind of smooth out, I just take my foundation brush just to kind of diffuse those edges. And I think it's just quicker and easier to use this on areas that aren't like as delicate, like your under eye. And I think it works pretty well. It's also a great trick if you feel like your under eye is too bright, just to go over it really lightly with the foundation brush that still has product on it, and it kind of will calm it down a little bit and just make it look more natural, like that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set everything with the MAC Studio Fix powder. I take NC35 in this, and I'm just gonna get this big brush from IT Cosmetics and just go over my whole face. This part I pretty much do when I do every makeup look. This hasn't changed in my routine for a very long time. But pretty much the only newer things are like my concealer that I'm using. And I haven't used that foundation in a while, but I've definitely used it before. And then I have been using the Give Me Sun Bronzer by MAC again, and one of the Kylie Cosmetics ones that I've really been liking. So I'll show you those once we get to our next step here, but everything else is pretty standard. I always just like to update you guys on my like daily makeup routine as the seasons change. Even if it hasn't changed that much, it's just good because there are like little things that change, like new techniques or, you know, things like that. So I always like to update you. This routine, if I'm not filming, of course, and like talking, I can get done in about 15 minutes, so that's always great. So next up for bronzer, like I said, I've been trying the Kylie Cosmetic one, and this one is in the shade Tequila Tan, and it's just like a really nice neutral bronzer. I like it for like fall and winter when I don't want to be as like orangey, and then sometimes I'll throw a little bit of this one in there if I feel like I just want to warm it up a little bit. So they're kind of different tones. This one's definitely more orangey red, and this one's more of like a gray tone. So I will kind of go in between these two, but I am gonna start with the Kylie one. And I love the quality of her mirrors. They're like really good quality. So this one's definitely way more subtle just because it's not as warm like I said, but I just think it looks really pretty. It's a good tone. It's more of like a contour in my opinion.
Once you get to meet her, you see her walking down the boulevard.
Alright, and then just for fun and to kind of show you guys like what I mean, I am just gonna dust over with this one just to add a little warmth to the face.
She got the posture of a superstar.
And I like more of like a sun-kissed look across my nose as opposed to like a full-on nose contour, so that's why I just like to dust with this. And then in our next step, I'll show you guys what I do to kind of bring some definition back to the nose and to like our cheek area. I take the MAC Studio Fix powder that I had already used, and then this MAC brush, it's just like a smaller tapered brush, and I'll just take a little bit here and then pop that kind of over on my nose right here and then feather out. And this just serves to like kind of blur and brighten that area and to clean up any bronzer on the nose that might have gotten in the wrong area. So it's just like a really good step. And then I'll also take a little bit and place it underneath my bronzer. So not really a bake, but just like a little cleanup. Yeah, it just makes such a difference. All right, for blush for fall, I like more of a brownish coppery blush. So I'm gonna be using this one right here by Becca. I've literally had this for so long, the name is gone, but I know they have one that looks just like this that I will link down for you guys so you guys can get the same look if you like it, but I just love that for fall. And it has a little bit of shimmer in it, and I just think it looks so pretty. And my brush does have a little bit of this one left over on it, but I think like the mix together looks so nice. And I know I have a zit right here, I don't even care. I'm not bothered by it. And like I always say, blush fades the quickest on me, and I know a lot of other people are the same way. So if it looks like I'm applying a lot, it's because I am, but it will not look that way in about like 10 to 20 minutes. Always hit the nose and the tip of my hairline and my forehead. Ah, yes, I love it. And like if you overdo it on the apples, just take your little brush that you cleaned up with and just continue to clean up as you need to. All right, now we're just gonna run some quick brow gel through, and this is just the Anastasia one. Pretty standard in my routine. All right, let's move on to the eyes, and this eyeshadow palette is my staple every day for fall, and even in like the end of summer when I'm not just only using bronzer on my eyes anymore. This is the Baked Browns palette by Dose of Colors. Their packaging has changed, but this palette lasts so long. So this is the one I'm gonna be using today, and you can see it's just all like brown tones, pretty neutral. These are pretty warm, but this is like a more on the neutral side of brown. I'm gonna take this shade right here with just a fluffy brush. These are very pigmented, and I am going to place this just kind of all over my lid, my crease, just kind of everywhere. I'm not being neat with this at all. All right, once I have that even and kind of where I want it, I just take a smaller brush and do the exact same thing on my lower lash line. I told you these are pigmented, so be careful. Alright, I'm just gonna feather this out so it looks really gradual. Alright, so now that our like base shade is down on the top and on the bottom, I'm gonna grab a smaller brush, and I got mascara on it the other day, but it's fine. And I'm gonna take this dark brown and literally just give it a tiny, tiny tap. And I'm gonna place this on the very outer V of my eye right here. And I'm kind of going for like a cat eye shape, so that's why I'm putting it on the outside, just to kind of lift that corner and make my eye appear like that. And if you need to grab a little more, that's fine, because these are really easy to blend out if you grab too much. All right, and then once there's not much product left, I am dragging that over to the entire crease. We're just doing really subtle. This is just like our everyday situation, so we don't want to get too dramatic, so I am gonna stop there and go ahead and repeat this on the other side. All right, so pretty. I really like what we have going on. Okay, so I kind of like where we're at right now. I'm just gonna take it one step further, and I'm gonna grab this little flat brush right here and back into the brown that we just used. I'm being a little more generous this time because we're gonna add a little bit of liner. So what I'm gonna do is look at a downward angle at my mirror, and I'm just gonna stamp down on my lower lash line, and we want it to be a little smoky, so it's not gonna be perfect. So we're just kind of like doing little stamping motions. And I'm even dragging it up a little bit. And then when we get to the edge, I'm dragging it up and just creating a tiny, tiny, subtle wing. Nothing crazy, like you can barely tell, it just enhances the shape of the eye. And then dragging down. Because whatever we do on top, we want to repeat down below. So that's how I would want it every time. It looks really good like that. Just like really subtle, we're just enhancing, that's it. I'm just gonna add a quick coat of mascara and I'll be right back. I'll show you what I'm using. It's just the L'Oreal Voluminous Original in black, and I'll be right back. I'm gonna go put this on. Okay, all done with my mascara. And next up I'm gonna do highlighter. I'm not gonna put any on my cheeks just because I feel like I have enough glow with the blush. But for a highlight for my like inner corner, brow bone, and my nose, and maybe a little right here, I'm gonna be using the Becca Champagne Pop, and I'm opening up a new one because the one from my palette is gone. So I'm opening up a new one today, and it's the pretty special edition one they had last year. And I'm just using a tiny little brush. Oh yes, looks. This highlighter like brings me back to when I first found out about YouTube and like makeup tutorials and all that. I like wanted this so bad for Christmas, and my mom got me that palette and I like begged for it when I was like 18. It's just so funny. I was like so into makeup. All right, that looks good to me. And before we do lips, I am just gonna go ahead and set my face with this Morphe setting spray. It's the continuous setting mist, just the normal one, not the mattifying one. All right, now for lips, I just shared on Instagram, like I think yesterday, the day before, my favorite fall lip combo, and I'm gonna be doing a variation of it today. For liner, I always use this NYX lip pencil in Natural, but my Subculture by MAC is like my favorite liner for fall, and I lost mine and I found it today. No wonder I lost it, because it's just a tiny little stub. So I'm gonna use this for old time's sake, but I am gonna use the same lipstick that I showed. So I'm just gonna go ahead and line my lips. Oh, it's already like sharpened how I like it too.
So fly in those Gucci slides. Yeah, I wonder what she hides under her disguise. Yeah. And all the girls around the world,
Yes, I love it so much. I forgot about it.
they wanna be it. And all the dudes are trying to score like it's fever. She lives a double life.
All right, lipstick. I'm gonna be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills matte lipstick in the shade Peachy. And this is like my favorite fall lipstick. Yeah. It's like that perfect warm nude. And I think it complements like the blush and the eyes really well. Now I love this lipstick, but it's a little dry if I don't put a gloss over top of it. So I'm gonna do another Anastasia product. This one is the Toffee Lip Gloss. This is fall right here. This is fall. It's so good, and it's still like not too dramatic. Like it's not like orange or like brown, but it's just like the prettiest. You'll just have to see. It's like your lips, but better. Like your lips with some definition and color. And it smells like fall. It smells like caramel. Do you guys say caramel or caramel? I say caramel.
What's under this subtle smile? We'll never know.
Oh my god, it's just so pretty. Alright, I am going to go finish getting ready and I'll be right back to show you the final result. Alright guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments what you want to see from me next. I'm really excited about the fall season, so any fall content you want to see, make sure you drop down below. And yeah guys, thank you so much and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
He's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her.